Good morning. This is our first interview in person. Everything that we have done so far has been online on Zoom, and today we are like we're like we're together in the same room. We're
It's
not
not
AI.
AI. AI, it's real.
Yes, and so I am so excited today. I met Jen last week at a networking event, and it was so easy to find her because she's so classy. She is the person that when you notice someone who's taken the time to make genuine eye contact, like old school, like really wanting to find out what you're about, what's happening, and that was Jen. And yeah,
Well,
so
thank you.
there's something special when you find out that people are there to be present and not just to check off a meeting on their to-do list. And so we met last week and I found out more about what she did, she does, and we're actually in a property she has for sale. So at the end, I'm going to walk around. So you may or may not be local, yet you're also going to learn that she has her license not only in Michigan, but also Florida.
Yeah, the sunny
So
state.
if you want the best of both, we have Michigan winter, or you might want to leave during Michigan winter and go, south. You can reach out to Jen. So again, what I loved most was your presence.
Well, thank you.
And I would love for you to share more about you, how you came into real estate. And I immediately learned she loves to serve. And so, and she's in a number of different groups for that networking, communication, collaboration. And so, share with us more about you.
Yeah, so super passionate about collaborating and connecting people. So long story short, I mean, I'm Jenn Murray. I am with Keller Williams Professionals here in Metro Detroit, and then I'm also down in Florida. So I have my license down there on the east side, but I have a lot of connections over on the west side as well, because I know a lot of us Michiganders are west side Florida people. But I would also encourage you to take a look at the east side. It is super cute. I'm here in Milford. And I find like the little place that I'm in Florida is called Stewart, and we are very similar, like little village town with like the concerts in the park kind of thing. So yeah, I started real estate 5 years ago, and I came out of prior to COVID, I owned the CrossFit box here in town. So I started a CrossFit Justice from scratch, which was a huge passion. Fitness is a huge passion of mine. Started it and built it from the ground up right here in my backyard. Like literally, it was a mile and a half from my house.
Oh,
So based off of passion, really trying to help people live their best lives. And in that chapter, it was through fitness. Fitness is still very strong in my life. I'm a marathoner. I actually worked for a company called Marathon Tours for a while, and we took marathoners around the world to run marathons. So I love to travel and love to help, once again, people live their best lives. So that kind of passion of mine started with fitness, and I got involved with the local chamber and got involved with a lot of different groups here locally, different women's groups, different business groups, and just really working together for the betterment of the community and as individuals themselves too. So to live their best lives. So real estate just kind of fit real nicely with me. My dad's an estate attorney, so we dealt a lot with real
mhm.
estate back then. And then my brother's a realtor in Ann Arbor, so we always talked about real estate. So even though I've only been in real estate for 5 years, it's been in my blood since I was little. And just really, when I got into real estate, it just was so comfortable, and I love it with such a passion, like I did real estate, helping people. I mean, you see this little place right here. So cute. And to be able to like help people get that dream. I mean, it's the American dream to own real estate, right? That equity build is very important in our lives. And to help people get to that they can be like super excited about it in that next chapter. It's just a passion of mine. And then I can collaborate with a lot of different people of, okay, you need a painter. Okay, you need a carpet guy. So it's just doing all of that and helping people live that dream.
And what's so neat is that literally as we were walking in, she's like, "Oh, I met with so and so. You need his card." And that's the brilliance that that's naturally wired within you. And I think it's from, I didn't realize that you had another company in business, but realizing there's something significant about our health and our wealth and how
Yes.
they come together. And ownership of real estate is that wealth, and yet the health behind it, because nothing, we have nothing if we don't have our health.
Mm.
So the balance of both is really nice. So I have a few questions. And so, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned on your journey to success, both in life and business, that you wish women, people might, would know more?
I think that we try to think that we have to have it all figured out, and we don't. Right. From previous lives, with working out, it's you break it down and you chunk it out and you just step forward in that next thing. So if we have a goal that's over here and we think it's going to be a straight line to it, it never is. It's going to go up and down. We're going to change, but at the end, we can get to that point. You don't have to have that whole line figured out. Just continue every day to do something in that direction. And one of the questions I ask myself a lot is this decision taking me towards my goal or away from my goal?
Mm,
And if you can just like really simplify it in that aspect, I think it gives you better direction, right? So that would be, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just continue to move forward and be consistent. If you decide that you want to lose 15 pounds, right? You need to be consistent about it and just do it every day. So
and you know what made me think of this, especially because you're a marathon person. We were just talking the other day about marathons and how is it the 22nd mile that you hit the wall?
it's mile 16.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
16?
Yeah, 16 of the
Ooh, lucky.
26.
Okay.
Yeah, 16 to 22. It's a big chunk. Yeah, it's an out of body experience. And when I've trained athletes during that time and actually ran with them, when
Mhm.
we hit that mile 16, I'm like, get your earphones on, put them on,
So dial
disconnect,
in, dial
dial
in into
in.
something different.
Yep. And does it hurt? Yep. It's going to hurt. And, for growth to happen, there is pain in that.
Mhm.
I think we all have to go through a certain being uncomfortable stage in order to grow. Because if we're
For
always, for
things.
all things, and yeah, you're going to have to lean into it. But what you want on the other side is going to be worth it. And just stay focused and stay consistent.
I say it all the time, but I've never run a marathon, but like life is a marathon.
Oh, yes.
It's not a race. It is a marathon for the endurance in which, and I didn't realize it was that big of a gap. I thought it was a specific mile, but
Yeah.
that I'm sure it depends on the person. Like, what'd you eat the day before?
Oh,
You
yes.
know,
There's
how
sleep.
well did you train? Or is it going to be mile 18? But it sounds like if anything, it's really that level of commitment of pushing through that spot to really get to that other side. And that's why it's 26 and not 11, or
Yes. Yeah.
it's a good amount that takes greater endurance.
And I think one thing I've always thought about during a marathon and training people during that time too, and it can be true in anything that we do, whether it's business and we're going through that growth stage that's uncomfortable, we have to get out of our comfort zone. Sometimes when you are in the most uncomfortable situation is also the time that you need to be the most grateful for what you have.
Oh,
So
I feel like that needs to be bold, italicized, because that's when it can be where you step back and you avoid that growth, or
mhm.
you actually step in. And I would say last night, just locally being at an event and looking around at the number of kids in the room for the mindset coaching, and the variation of little girls that I found out were 8, and then there was girls that were 16, that there's such a different experience, and how different. I got a little of the O word I don't normally like, and if you know me well, you know what I'm talking about. I don't say it. And I felt it and was like, I needed to dial in, put my almost like my earbuds in to say, no, 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 you got this. You were
Yep.
once 8, you were once 9, you were once all these ages, and I don't need to get so dialed into getting stressed about what I can't control, which is serving all of them individually. It was more as a group and really resetting that. But so many times we need to do that reset, and those tools are available through success. Like, you've taken those marathons, you've taken the fitness, and now you're applying it to real estate, which you have different
Yes.
seasons,
Yes.
seasons of real estate that make a difference. So, how do you maintain focus and clarity on your vision, especially when you're faced with challenges?
I think once again, you have that particular goal or that particular thing that you want to accomplish. And sometimes when you're getting into the middle of it and you're in the depths of that, the pain zone, right, is to once again think about the overall picture, right? Step back, be grateful. In marathoning, I think, okay, this mile, we're going to talk about this person and how grateful you are to them, right? And that they're in your life or this situation. But when you're looking at things and you're facing challenges and it's tough and it hurts and you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. It must be a sign from the universe because this is uncomfortable that I should not be doing it. Step back, refocus, go back to the motivation of why you're doing it and just be like, I can do this. I've done tougher things. I'm going to do tougher things. And this is just one of the things that I'm just going to continue just to step forward and be grateful.
So, what I'm hearing a lot of is self-talk.
A lot. There's, you know what, we are our own worst enemy. The stories that we tell ourselves, and they're we lie to ourselves more than we think we do. And we just really need to step back and be grateful and have a positive mindset. And I know that's hard sometimes. Sometimes, especially, here in Michigan, when it gets dark and gloomy and the sun's not coming out and we're cold and we're like, this is miserable. I just want to stay in my house and hibernate. That's when you need to go outside. That's when you need to call a friend and go for a walk and get some fresh air and be like, I'm struggling right now. And it's okay to say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to say, I'm I'm having a hard time and I need somebody. And then be able, but don't stay there. Get it out of your body and then move forward.
So important. I think that at any age, it's so important to recognize that self-talk. I taught the other day on our lie identity
Yes,
instead of our identity and the facts that we are in control of what we tell ourselves. And is it a lie or is it truth? And sometimes it's the fear that turns into a
hmm
complete lie that you laugh at yourself out loud, like, really? That's ridiculous. But that spiral. And I think that's also what we miss so many of the opportunities. But physically, in a marathon, it's so fascinating that you have to keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk.
Hmm.
I honestly, I walk every single water station and I take a break and I thank the volunteers. That's my gratitude, right? Thank you guys
Mm.
so much for coming out here. It's hot or it's cold and we so appreciate you. We couldn't be doing this without you. There's gratitude. Pick it up after that. So,
Oh, that's so good. Oh my goodness, so good. Okay. So what daily habits or practices have been key to your personal growth and achieving your goals?
start my day off with a routine every single day. I know that I get up at a certain time, Monday through Friday.
That's
And,
fair. That's
and
fair.
yeah, and that's fair. And I give myself a little leeway on the Saturday and Sundays, but it starts off the same way. I get up, the alarm goes off. Okay, I'm a snoozer. I hit it once. Drink a big glass of water, get up, take a couple of nice deep breaths, right? Gratitude journal, even if it's 5 minutes, open it up, whether it's on your computer or handwritten, whatever it takes, um, and then do those, and then also get your feet outside. Literally put your feet onto the ground and ground yourself. And then I work out. I work out at least 45 minutes, plus depending on the workout. And then I have my breakfast and I hands on the keyboard at 9 o'clock. And then
Okay.
I know exactly what's going to take place from 9 to 9:15. Like I have my morning set of what I
Mhm.
do. And then I can go on and take all the appointments and the rest of the day.
Adjust.
Yeah.
Adjust.
Yeah.
So, if you have followed or been a part of our collective, you know that what she just shared is not rocket science.
No, it's
It's
just a routine. It's easy. It's easy to write it down. It's hard to follow it, but that's where your consistency comes in.
right. Well, and then it is your checklist to say if you're working for yourself, you're never by yourself. You recognize that someone who's already done it, it's the preparation the night before. It's telling
Mhm.
yourself, I know this is going to get me where I need to go. And then it's not a wonder in the morning. should I do right now? Well, when you get in that mode, you can really understand, well, placing the water where you place it so that you don't think, I'll get to it, I'll get to it. But when you have that routine, it happens without
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. And I think that's super important too, the night before. And I usually sit down on Sundays, plan out my whole week, but then, you know, Monday night for Tuesday morning, everything is lined up of exactly what I need to do. And I come in and you start checking it off. And then of course you get that phone call or you get, your child is sick and you have to go pick them up, something along those lines. But then just go do it and then come right back to where you were.
Right.
Consistency.
Pivots. Yep. And the pivots or the shifts happen, yet the closer we are and that ease, we don't realize how simple it can be and the structure so that we were talking about the difference between a routine and a ritual and the privilege that it is to create your own routine instead of a ritual that becomes a rut.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll just wake up and scroll. And then you're like, oh, 12 minutes later of no substance, no value, no intention. This can be so helpful in communication. Yet if we're not intentional,
It can
I
really,
think they call that doom scrolling. Like there's a thing that you won't have the health and greater wealth, communication, connection without the simplicity. And it is simple. It is super simple. And it's so much greater when you do work for yourself that you know that checklist. Otherwise, when you do it for someone else in a boss setting, it would look 10 times greater because you'd have to do those things before you get to a position or, an office or something like that.
yeah.
Still can be done for sure. It's just going to look different. And when you do it for yourself, in your own purpose for your business.
Is what I'm doing right now? Is this 12 minutes of scrolling getting me towards my goal of what I want to accomplish? Or is there something else that I should be doing instead? Yeah.
That I love the ask. It's so good. Such a good question. If you could give one piece of advice to women stepping into their power and striving for their best selves, outside of what you've shared, which is your routine, clear purpose with goals, is there anything else that
I would say to connect with people. We all go through this, New Year's resolutions kind of thing, which I think we instead of just once a year, we need to do them, all the time of where am I? Where do I want to be and what am I doing to get there? Which is another the whole wheel. Are you familiar with the wheel, right? We all are familiar with the
if they're not though, give them like
Okay,
a quick
so
summary.
so the wheel and I do a 6 week checkup, and it's literally in my calendar, and it'll say ding, and I have a special leather bound, beautiful handwritten journal that I write it
I
in,
love it.
and it's 6 different categories. Okay, so you have your wealth, your relationship, your spirituality, the 6 different things, and then you rate them on where you think you are on a scale from 1 to 10. I personally like 1 to 5 because there's just way too many options. So I do 1 to 5.
I gotta stop you right there. I think that's a really good point. We were just talking about this in a number of different lights that people don't like to score themselves. And when you don't like to score yourself, you're missing out on the growth. And I literally just said that and we said it to my son for his hockey because after a game, I always ask, well, where are you from 1 to 10? Because I know we can't have a conversation. And if I think he was a 2 and he thinks he was a 9,
Yeah.
we're on completely different, there's no conversation because
Yeah.
we're way too off. And also it would be somewhat of my opinion. Mine is always on effort, but literally I kind of stepped back thinking, I think I almost want to shorten that because anything at a 5, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like, what did you just not make a decision? Is it, you know what I mean? So I think that tighter number, I think is really clear and you can dial it in greater. So
Yeah.
I think so go back to that. That was really helpful. And I needed to hear personally that
The,
shorter,
the
then you
shorter
can
range.
understand more of a range instead of getting in the woods of like, what does that really mean?
Right.
So,
So yeah, so you rate yourself on where you think you are at
mhm.
that
In
particular
those
time
age
in
categories.
each category.
Okay.
And then talk about, just 3 little sentences. Where am I today?
Mm.
Okay. In my health. Well, I'm working out every morning. I'm getting about 4 days a week, and I feel like I'm, fluffy. right? Because we're carrying water weight. So, and then the next step is where do you want to be when you read this again? Okay. And then action steps. So I want to be less fluffy. And by doing so, I'm going to make sure I'm drinking 8 glasses of water every day.
Mhm.
So that, and you do that in each of the categories. So then when you come back to it in 6 weeks, you look at, say, where you were last time, then compared to where you are today.
Mhm.
And then did I accomplish what I wanted to do?
Mhm.
So it's kind of a sense of accountability.
There's no kind of.
That
It's an
it's an
accountability. It's
accountability thing.
100% accountability. And the willingness to ask those questions. Because so many times in life, when you work for yourself, and even when you work for someone else, to not wonder what it would be. It's the
Hmm.
specifics of those areas. And when you do work for someone else, then you're only going to be better serving, the position, the company, your clients, your team.
Yeah. So I think that that's super important is to really kind of tune in on yourself and where you are, where you want to go. How am I doing in each of those categories? Because it really is, if you're off and you're only working all the time and you have no, social interaction, like if you're not touching base with people and just having good communications, just on a personal level, your wheel is off and
Hmm.
it's chunky,
Yeah.
right? And life just doesn't flow as well if you're uneven.
I think that's really important, especially for any women who are juggling building a business, a solopreneur, that opportunity. And that's a lot of what we do in the collective is to have that space for support so that you have that when you're having a good run, a good momentum that you can share that. And that's inspiring because you know it's still available because we can listen to the lies that no, the rain, the sky is falling where it's not.
Yes.
It's a perception and it's an awareness that when you have others who are working and staying true to those schedules and the simplicity, oh, it's
So
like we've known each other. I love this. I love this. Okay, so last question. How do you balance ambition and rest, ensuring to stay aligned with your values and avoid burnout? Maybe when you've got your routines, you've got that schedule, is there anything more that you do to when you recognize, like you might be in a space where everyone needs you in real estate or time-wise, you're coming to the end of a quarter or like the year?
yeah, yeah. And burnout is it's real. It's real. And whether it's running a marathon and doing your training and you're
Mm,
just so done running, or you're just plowing ahead for work and you're just like, I'm so unbalanced. And again, it comes back to that wheel. How do you have that check with yourself and step out of it? I connect with nature. So that's
mm,
my big thing is I need to get outside and breathe and just be able to be like, turn my phone off,
mm. Disconnect.
disconnect,
Oh,
disconnect. And nature does it for me. That's my particular thing. I'll jump out on a paddleboard for, a couple of hours. I take a couple of, turn my phone off, don't take it with me. I just need to breathe. And yeah, you need to be able to turn it off and to know that burnout is real. It's going to happen, but you also need to be aware of that. It's okay. Everything that you have built is not going to collapse in this short period of time that you're going to take. And, whether it's a weekend, a month that you're just like,
mhm,
I'm turning it off, I'm
mhm,
stepping out, or one day a week, right? Like, what does that look like? I try to take one day off every week, one weekend off a month, and then I don't want to say 7 days, but maybe 5 days off, a quarter where they're all connected and go somewhere and be like, I'm not getting pulled in a million directions.
mhm.
And that's sometimes where I come back and do my 6 week checkup
That's good.
is during that time.
Because then you've been able to
Yeah.
reset and not be in the mix of it. So, what I love is that if you have watched our interviews, you know that it's a choice and it's an opportunity and the simplicity of watching someone who has done this. And you can see that it has been both the mind and the body. And so many times we're just working, 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 and we forget about the body, or we're working physically like a marathon and not realizing how much that is part of the mind. And so they're connected, and the support system is within those checklists. And I have a daily journal that I share, and it starts with gratitude, and it's not to be a surprise. This is simple because it's a choice. The choice is not simple, but what we do is simple. And when you do choose it, it becomes easier. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've seen a number of. Can you tell the difference when you were working with someone in a marathon on where they're going to hit roadblocks based on your experience?
Yeah, I think that somebody who we'll take an athlete for example because it's an easy one is if all you do is just push, 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 your body will break. It's guaranteed. You have to incorporate those rest days and those rest periods. Otherwise, you're going to break down. And the same thing with work. You cannot be full force all the time, and you can't do everything. Okay, you're going to have to get some leverage. Have somebody clean your house.
Mhm.
Have somebody help you out with errands, whatever that may be. You can have it all, you just can't do it all. And yeah, if you're starting to get cranky, if you're starting to not sleep, those are signs that you need to pull back and just catch your breath, whatever that may be. Whether you need to connect with a friend or you need to go for a walk by yourself, it's important to be able to read that.
Mm. So we talk about raising the bar, and the first is belief, and the second is ask. So what I'm hearing is the ask and being really, really conscious of the ask, asking your body what you need, whether it's more rest, grounding. Love that. I think I
Mm.
needed that reminder today because it's been so cold and I haven't been doing it because of oh, it's so cold and the snow. Yet that's also when we need to do it because there's shifting that are happening for us when it's dark at 4:45 in the evening or afternoon, I should say.
Hmm.
So, is there anything else that's on your heart that you would love to share?
Um, I think that I feel very blessed to have met you, which was such a great connection right away. So thank you very much. And I love the idea of what you're doing here too. And I know so many women who feel like they're out there by themselves, that they're just this ship in the middle of the sea they know there's other ships out there, but they don't know how to connect. So I think that this is super important. And just being able to, whether it's in person, which has been
Mhm.
great,
Oh,
or
that's
it's
so.
on Zoom or networking, it's since COVID, we've been able to do this and build good relationships. So no, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, I'm so excited, and I'm
Hmm.
realizing I want to show you around. So I am going to. I've been working this thought process of the lighting here is beautiful. It's so exciting. I'm going to see if I can take you around. Yet I know that I've had a few issues with my like it's blurry in the background, which I did not put any frame. I don't have that check. So I'm going to see what I can do. If it doesn't come through clear, then I'm going to make sure either way, we're going to have her links, we're going to have Jen's information. We'll have, I'm sure you have a link to
Yep.
the what do you call that?
MLS listing.
Yes,
Yes.
the listing that has all the videos and prettiness and photos. So if you are in the area or you like great investments, we were talking about that too. Like this
Hmm.
can be a great investment to be able to, because it's ready to go.
It's
It's
beautiful.
super, and it's right close to downtown, which we
We,
have a pretty
yeah.
awesome Milford community and lots of activities. So I thank you for your time. It's so exciting when you know that someone is not showing up accidental. There is work behind it, and I didn't know. And yet I did know because we haven't had this conversation, and that's what's really fun. Where I'm like, yep, yep, yep. So it really is a simple opportunity that we can choose into, and the greatest gift is that there's times in our lives when we need to link arms with someone who's already been doing it, who has realized the value of it, and because she's been in it physically, she knows the mindset and it's rolling right into real estate because it's not simple.
No.
I think somebody had, maybe it was Cheryl that had posted all of what it takes in real estate. It looks like you just throw a sign in the yard.
Oh, there's so
And
much
there's
more.
like, but it's just like cleaning your house. You only know what it takes to clean your house unless you've done it or you let some things go. And then when somebody comes in and does it and it's sparkly, you're like, you did a little more than I might have done because I was tired and it wasn't my passion. And you're passing on the opportunity to lead and develop others and passing on that and talking about gratitude is that when we do ask for help, we enroll others in our journey and that's more exciting. So you start to grow your team. So I love all of what you're doing. So grateful to be in your space and being the first. Like, this is exciting. So, I'm going to walk around here. You can see we're sitting here in this lovely living room. And then right behind us was this beautiful giant. I mean, this is like such a fantastic style kitchen. And it has the archway, um, and a living room. It's just so funny because I normally do this on my phone. And I'll give you just a little slice of this because I know we've had such a great interview, and some people love the real estate side. I do because my mom's been a realtor all my life. Here's the guest room, closet, a nice bathroom. And then this is a 3 bedroom, and this is a really great condo for the opportunity. So cute. It has a third floor. So what Jen was talking about is that some people will purchase this and rent this extra level because it has a full bedroom, little nook area, and its own bathroom. So pretty exciting and new and fresh location. So we'll make sure to share this. And we thank you for joining us and know that if you are looking for a great realtor in Michigan and somebody who can help you in Florida, then you can reach out to Jen. We'll make sure that she has all the information below. And so very grateful for Jen's willingness to fit me in. She has so many things going on. She serves so many, and the community in which that she networks. And yay. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for being part of this. I love it.